Maddie's yelling in the back. Must mean it's a football Friday. The Spuds are heading to Minneapolis. A recap of their thriller. Plus, it's a huge football Friday. Hot Mic starts now.
Hot Mic with Dom Izzo.
Really? Really, Dom?
No. I like what Dom's doing.
Okay.
Dom Izzo.
Jeez, come on, Dom. What do you think I am, a magician?
Yeah, I'm fired up, Dom. What else could I say?
Absolutely. It was great to get on the field, and then Dom came up to me, and I'm trying to walk away from me. I just wanted to enjoy myself out there.
Hot Mic.
Great job.
There's got to be some kind of intelligent question about something.
Coach Dom Izzo, WDAY in Fargo, North Dakota.
Can you give me a layup or something?
Hot Mic. Presented by Northwestern Mutual.
That program is second to none.
On the networks of WDAY.
You know, if it's not about sports, I find it very hard to concentrate.
Here's Dom Izzo.
Good Friday morning. Welcome to the underestimated them edition of Hot Mic on WDAY Extra. KSFL TV, good morning everybody in Sioux Falls, KNBN in western South Dakota, and Inforum.com. Happy Friday, everybody. First Friday of the month. Set for what's going to be a great night of high school football around the area, whether you live in Minnesota, South Dakota, North Dakota. We got it ready to roll. We'll certainly feel like it out there tonight. If you're playing outside, good luck, because it's going to be a bit chippy out there later tonight. Welcome to the show, everybody, on a Friday morning, the day before the day. We got a football game going on tomorrow as well up in Grand Forks. We'll chat plenty about that. I feel like it's been talked to death. It's Friday. Now we got to play the game, right? We'll have a little bit more coming up, though, on our program today about the Bison UND game. Latest bracketology I put out this morning. You can check it out now at Inforum.com. Reflective of what I see happening. This is not what the committee, what I see happening over the next 3 weeks. We'll get into that as well coming up later on in our program today. Lots to get to. We'll get to all the games going on in North Dakota. 3A and 2A take center stage tonight. Winners moving on to the Dakota Bowl. We will know the 3A matchup and the 2A matchup for the Dakota Bowl by about 10 o'clock tonight. Tomorrow, 9-man and Class A have their semifinals to see who's moving on to play a week from today. Our show will be live up at the Fargo Dome for Dakota Bowl 33. Here we go. I mean, we look forward to it all year long, and then it goes by so quickly, but it's setting up for what's going to be a great night of games, and we'll get you ready for that coming up here in just a little bit. There's a plenty going on. Obviously, you got big boy football. The Vikes have their showdown with the Baltimore Ravens. We'll get to NFL picks with my pops coming up before we wrap up the show. The NFL game is not even worth showing today. Normally on Thursday night's Friday morning show, we'll give you a little bit of the Thursday night game. I saw none of it. I was calling the Bison volleyball game last night, which congrats to South Dakota State. I know we have plenty of viewers in Sioux Falls, Brookings. The Jackrabbits have won the volleyball championship again. They're still unbeaten. They beat the Bison last night 3-1. But I was listening to the football game as I was driving home, and it sounded like an abomination. Certainly played out as much with Denver winning 10-7 was the final in that, so not necessarily worthy of our highlights here this morning. What is what happened last night in Minnesota high school football. We previewed it yesterday on the show. Kevin Feeney joined us. Moorhead was playing Centennial yesterday, 6A quarterfinal. Winner goes to U.S. Bank Stadium and the semifinals. Little backstory before we show you the highlights here. Centennial, number 1 seed. Option team, likes to run the ball, doesn't throw it a whole lot. Playing a Spuds team that, since Jett Feeney has come back to the lineup, has not lost. They scored 51 points against Edina, 38 points against Blaine, 64 points against Woodbury. That's what they've done since Jett Feeney came back into the lineup. That was the backstory for the game last night against the Centennial Cougars, being played at Spring Lake Park. And as Kevin told us, all of 6 miles separating Centennial and Spring Lake Park. So not really a road game as it was. Spuds got the ball, went right down the field. Jett Feeney scores. Rushing touchdown, 7 yards out, it's 7-0. It's 7-7 when the Spuds get the big play going. Feeney hits Zach Walker. That goes for 37 down to the 3. He dances in from 3 yards out, took a shot at the end. It's 14-7 in favor of Moorhead. Centennial, to their credit, kept coming back. This kind of offense, you never know who has the football. This big run got him down inside the 5. Caleb Melzer will take it after that, a 5-yard touchdown run. We're tied up at 14. All right, Moorhead says, all right, let's go. We'll go right back down the field. Inside the 5, Feeney, David Mack. You've heard that before. Touchdown. 21-14 Spuds. That was the score at halftime. Spuds were set to get the ball to start the second half. This might be the play of the game. Tay Rich fields this at about his 17-yard line, and look out. He's got a convoy down the sidelines, 83 yards for a touchdown. Moorhead is up by 2 scores now after they get the 2-point play at 28-14. Centennial, though, comes right back. Again, who's got the football? This is a 28-yard touchdown run. Cougars are back in it. It's 28-21. The following drive, to me, told the story of the game. Moorhead goes down the field. Look at Feeney buy time. Hit J.J. Dunlap in the corner with a great catch for a touchdown. Spuds are back up by 2 scores at 35-21. Big play here. It's 4th down for Centennial. They're going to try a gadget play. They needed about 25 yards. It picks up 18, but it didn't matter. There was a procedure penalty, and the Spuds get the ball. And what do they do with it? They drain the clock. Feeney with a beautiful right in the bucket throw to Dunlap. That was on 3rd down for a 1st down. Then later in the drive, it's a 4th down from midfield. Spuds are going to go for it. Watch here. Feeney gets Centennial to jump off sides. It was 4th and 4. They get the 5 yards. They're able to kneel it out. And the Moorhead Spuds are heading to U.S. Bank Stadium next Friday night. They beat Centennial. Look at that embrace with father and son there. It's not head coach and QB at that moment. That's father and son. Moorhead is moving on, 35-21 in the 6A bracket. So, that was the only game last night in 6A football. I've got a couple questions about that, but the Spuds now have an extra day of rest. They will play the winner of Maple Grove and Lakeville South. That game is tonight. We told you this when the bracket came out. I sat here and said it. Like, look, this team could do this. They could make a run. They're healthy after they beat Edina the way they did. And here they are now at U.S. Bank Stadium. The other quarterfinals tonight. All the teams that are left here, folks, are teams that are in Moorhead section outside of Lakeville South. You've got St. Michael and Minnetonka tonight. Other side of the bracket, here's some friendly rivals. Edina and Eden Prairie facing each other as well. That's the other 6A quarterfinal. Those games being played at Farmington and Osseo. All our attention will be on that Maple Grove game, though, tonight. Remember, Maple Grove came up here, hammered the Spuds. Feeney didn't play in that game. That game will be next Friday night at 7:30. Again, Maple Grove has won, I think, 25 in a row. They haven't lost a game in a year and a half. They're the reigning champions in 6A. They are a heavy favorite to beat Lakeville South tonight. That game is at 6 o'clock at Eastview. But congratulations to them. That was an unbelievable performance. Feeney goes for 3 touchdowns. We're going to have both dad and son, head coach and quarterback, are going to join us in the second hour after what was another late bus ride. I did the stats on this, just totaling, because I was asked about it when I was at the volleyball game last night. I'm like, all right, level of good nerd stat. Round trip, the Spuds have gone to Woodbury twice, which is the furthest one. That's 4 hours one way. Edina, Eden Prairie, Minnetonka, Blaine, and now Spring Lake Park. All told, they have traveled round trip 3,312 miles this season. Nobody else has that kind of mileage. Nobody. And now they're moving on. They're going to take another trip to Minneapolis, though. They'll be excited about that one next week down to U.S. Bank Stadium. And as I mentioned, we'll have more on that coming up later on in the show. That was not the only Minnesota football going on last night. The 9-man teams in our area are all moving on. We've got a potential for an all-local 9-man championship game in a couple of weeks. We'll start with Hillcrest playing Mabel Canton, an absolute gong show. Ethan Swedberg gets in here. Comets are up by 16. Mabel Canton comes back. That's Darian Hirschberger gets in for the touchdown. Now again, look at this. Mabel Canton down 2. They got to go for 2 to tie it up, but the Comets make a stand there on defense. Hillcrest Lutheran is going to U.S. Bank Stadium with a 40-38 win. How about Kitson County Central? They were playing last night, facing Cook County. First play of the game, Ashton Knutson. See you later, 71 yards for the Bearcats. He gets into the end zone. How about some more big play here from KCC? Eli Peterson to Kellen Johnson for the touchdown. Kitson County Central is moving back to U.S. Bank Stadium. They win it 49-0 over Cook County. They've got a date next week coming up at U.S. Bank Stadium. Finally, Fertile Beltrami. How dominant have they been in 9-man football? They were playing at Jim Goda Stadium last night against Cromwell Wright. Opening drive, Gavin Akus will get into the end zone for a touchdown. It's 8-0 Falcons. They get a stop. Caleb Sather will run in for the touchdown. 16-0 Fertile at that point. They win 40-14. So they are moving on to U.S. Bank Stadium as well in the 9-man tournament. Here's the teams. So again, we got 3 local teams playing in the 9-man semifinals, which are next week at U.S. Bank Stadium. Fertile Beltrami will get Hills Beaver Creek. That's a rivalry. Those 2 teams have played, I think, 2 years ago for the state championship. That'll be next Thursday at 1 o'clock at U.S. Bank Stadium. The other semi will be Hillcrest Lutheran and Kitson County Central. That game comes up at 4 o'clock next Thursday down at U.S. Bank, with the winners moving on to play a week from tomorrow, or 2 weeks from tomorrow, for the 9-man championship at the Vikings Stadium. So congrats to our local teams there. We got a bunch more playing tonight across the state. Breckenridge is in action. You'll see all the games on our ticker. They've got Barnum in the Class A quarterfinals. You've got our friends from Barnesville still alive in 2A. Mahnomen-Waubun still alive in Class A. DGF plays tonight in 3A football. So shout out to all the Minnesota teams there that's still alive, a chance to go and win. And you get to go play at the Viking Stadium a week from now in the semifinal round. So fun stuff there on a busy Thursday leading into what's going to be a dynamite Friday. What do you got, my man? What's up?
So this might be a dumb question because I'm from the state of Wisconsin, but with the 6A bracket, how there's 32 teams, why doesn't the team, like the number 1 seed, host through the quarters and then the semis you go to the bank?
Yeah,
and why play the semis at the bank when you could play it at another neutral site?
That is part of the negotiating when they built the stadium. The State High School League put that provision in that they got the semifinal, because that was always the case at the Metrodome. They played the semis there. So that was written into the deal. The question you had before that about the quarterfinal games, I did not know until this year, because frankly I haven't paid that close attention to 6A because we haven't needed to, that I didn't know they were at neutral sites, and I say that in quotation marks. I'm not sure. What I'll have to ask on that. We can ask Kevin when he joins us, although I know he was salty already about that was not necessarily a neutral site for Centennial last night. But yeah, the games tonight, as I mentioned, Farmington, Osseo. Where's the Maple Grove game at? That is being played at Eastview. That's not really a big road trip for any of those teams. But that's how that's well, they do it there with 6A.
But when you have like the teams that are out down in the cities prior to Moorhead, what does it matter if you're playing at a home site? It's not that far.
Yeah, I get it. We can ask. We'll see.
I'm just confused. It's just confusing.
Because how's it work in Wisconsin?
Well, in Wisconsin, the number 1. So you have your section. So the Moorhead section with Centennial. Centennial would have hosted through the 3rd round
because they were the number 1 seed.
Because they were the number 1 seed, and then Wisconsin, you go to then in the semis, it's all on turf.
Yeah,
which is really nice being able to play on turf because there's so many fields. But also in Wisconsin, we don't have everybody makes the playoffs.
Correct.
Which is everybody making the playoffs in Minnesota is just like a headache because do you really want a team that's 0-9 going up against a team that's 10-0 and going to get boat raced by 90?
Yeah, I've made my I'm clear on that. Although North Dakota has its own warts because we can't even get the best 8 teams in the top division to make the postseason. So
well, why
we got
can't for that one
so.
they just have all 16 make it? Just move up the season. Like,
Yeah.
no bye weeks. Just start the playoffs 1 week earlier, and then you have a true state tournament.
There you go. He's got it all figured out, folks.
It's not hard. It's not rocket science.
He got a day off, and his brain is refreshed. He's ready to go. I don't know. I wish I had the. First off, let's get the right 8 teams in, because I don't think we did that. We got to fix that here in North Dakota high school ball. More on that coming up later. We'll go through. Actually, can we do it now? Can we go through all the brackets in North Dakota we got before we go to our NFL stuff? You tell me. What do you want to start with? If it's the big school, the small schools. You tell me. All right, we'll go with 9-man to begin it. Tomorrow, it's all shaping up whether we have a potential for a rematch between New Rockford Cheyenne and Lemoore Litchfield Marion. We've been aiming this way the entire year. They've been 1-2. They'll play tomorrow. LLM's got matchup with South Border. That's actually not a bad road trip from Wishick to Lemoore. That game is tomorrow afternoon. New Rockford Cheyenne. Maddock has got Hankinson. Shout out to our guy Jason Moneylaws and the Pirates. They had a great run. They got a big-time challenge tomorrow night on the road against the Rockets. Again, the winners of that. The 9-man game is the first game at the Dome coming up a week from today. In Class A, you've got Landon area Munich. Let me get that right. Edmore's not part of it anymore. The Cardinals have been number 1 with a bullet all season long. They'll play tomorrow against Velva Drake Animus Garrison. Those have been the 2, as Andy Cook told us on Wednesday's show from Killdeer, those have been the 2 blue bloods of Class A with Kindred and Central Cass out of the mix. That should be a fun game. And then we mentioned the Cowboys. They said they've bored up the town if they win this game tomorrow against Botno. Winner of that moves on to the Dome. Botno has never been to the Dakota Bowl. That's a huge deal for the Braves there if they can get by the Cowboys. Somebody's making a long trip to Fargo, whoever wins that game in Class A. In 2A, we got the game coming up for you tonight. Kindred and Devils Lake. We'll preview that later in the show. Todd Lambrecht, head coach of the Firebirds, going to join us. Kindred might be a bit beat up. We'll see who actually plays tonight for the Vikings in that game. That's at 6. And then Minot North and Central Cass. Minot North was in this position, exact same spot last year, a home game in the semifinal round. Horace got them to go to the championship. The Sentinels have been great all year. They have not lost a game with a really talented Central. I'm circling that one tonight as maybe the game of the night going on out in Minot. Winners of that will play. That's the 2:30 game on Friday at the Dome. And then, of course, in 3A, you've got top-ranked Davies in action against Bismarck. Rematch of a game played earlier this year that the Eagles handled the Demons. Davies has been on a mission all year to try to get back to the Dakota Bowl after losing to Cheyenne last year. And then we've got an all-West semifinal. Horace beaten by Legacy. The Sabres had never won a playoff game prior to last week. Now they got a chance to get to their first ever Dakota Bowl. They got to get through what is the ultimate blue blood in 3A football. That's Bismarck Century and Ron Wiggenbach's team. Should be a fun night at the Bowl. Going to be a cold night at the Bowl for that one. We'll have our eyes peeled on that as well to see who's moving on to go to Dakota Bowl 33, which is a week from today. That, of course, is the game in prime time a week from tonight. We got a packed show here. It's already been busy. We got plenty more coming up here on this Friday morning. Our guest lineup is brought to you by Northwestern Mutual. Coming up at 9:35, Devils Lake head football coach Todd Lambrecht will join us. The Firebirds, we mentioned, what a challenge for them tonight. Rematch with Kindred. We'll preview that coming up at 9:35. At 10 o'clock, we got both of the Feeneys. Kevin and Jett will join us after Moorhead's big win over Centennial. Look ahead to, we can talk about it, a rematch with Maple Grove. I know they got to play tonight, but they're keeping their eyes on that one, that it's going to be Maple Grove again. We'll chat about that at 10 o'clock. And we wrap up the week in style at 10:35 with my dad with some stone cold NFL picks. We'll ask him about the big game tomorrow in Grand Forks. Last I saw, the line had moved from 13.5 to 10.5, so money is coming in on the Fighting Hawks. I always thought that was a bit much, honest, when I first saw it when Vegas dropped it on Monday, that the line was 14.5. Like, I don't know. We'll see. That's why they play the games. So we're off and rolling here on a busy Friday. We'll take our first break. We come back. You'll hear from Bison redshirt freshman Reese Kessel, Fargo native, about his first opportunity to play in a Bison UND football game. That's coming up. We come back on a busy Friday morning show after this. Off and rolling here on a busy Friday show. Don't forget tomorrow, of course, Bison Game Day, live on location at the Alara Center in Grand Forks. We hit the air at 10 a.m. with our show, with the usual cast of characters. The game kicks off just after 1. Our kickoff show at 12:50. You see both teams come to the field. And then we play some ball between the Bison and Fighting Hawks. Tomorrow, from the Alaris, round 118 between North Dakota State and the University of North Dakota. Before we get to my conversation with Reese Kessel, I got a couple emails on this, and I wanted to get out in front because talking about the game tomorrow. Hey, Dom, with YouTube TV being on the outs with ABC, what are the odds Forum opens up the NDSU UND game to subscribers to watch online this weekend, or is that already possible? The game is available if you are a WDAY Plus subscriber. You can watch it there. Every game is available there that we televise. So if you want to do that, you can. You can also watch it free over the air. I have an antenna at my house. I've had it for the better part. I got it. Here's a way back story. 2012, I got it because at that time, the local stations in Fargo were not in high def on DirecTV. So I got an antenna so I could watch the World Series. I think it was the Tigers and the Giants. Eric, double check for that. I think it was. So I could watch the games in high def because Fox, locally, KVRR wasn't broadcasting in high def at the time. So, and I've had the antenna ever since. So that's how I watch extra at my house. When I'm not here and Sam's filling in for me, whoever, that's how I watch Hot Mic, whatever game of the week we got going, I do it there. So you can do that. If you live in Williston, if you live in Bismarck, wherever, you've got a antenna, you can watch the game tomorrow right on KBMY with an antenna. You're good to go. But no, we're running a business here. We're not going to open that up for free. And I bring this up because from The Athletic this morning, and this is not great, the two sides, according to Andrew Marchand, are exchanging proposals but remain far apart, according to sources briefed on the talks, as the Monday Night Football game of the year with the Eagles versus the Packers looms on Monday. Says, can this NFC showdown provide a little tush-push to get a deal done? The world waits. You can go to a shot in the back. I'm sure Eric's already throwing his hat about that because he is a YouTube TV subscriber. As I found out, there are many out there that are. This is what happens. I was in the same boat last year. I'm a DirecTV subscriber. DirecTV and Disney went through this this time last year. I was in September. We went through it for 2 weeks. Missed 2 Monday Night Football games, a whole college football weekend twice over. He's normally right. The NFL normally wins out on this. That's why I was stunned that they missed not one but 2 NFL games on this. But when two sides get dug in, look what's going on in the federal government right now, people. If you want to talk about getting dug in, I mean, come on. So this is small potatoes compared to what we're dealing with nationally as a country right now.
Well, ESPN's trying to make some more money because they obviously just dropped ESPN Bet.
Yes.
Which was
they're going with FanDuel, although I think I saw though.
FanDuel or DraftKings?
DraftKings, yes, DraftKings. That's it.
But
yep.
yeah, they're just it's so bad. Like the people that are losing out aren't the higher ups,
Nope.
like the Kirk Herbstreits, like the Stephen A's, like it's the fans. It's the little guys like you and me that are missing out on these good games. And it's the start of college basketball season.
Correct.
And there's a great college basketball game on
Yeah.
tonight, and I can't even watch it because ESPN and YouTube can't figure out their you-know-what.
You're working anyway.
No, it starts at 6. I can watch it right till tip.
Kansas and North Carolina are playing tonight, which I think there's more problem I have them playing on a Friday night in November, but I get your point. It's not ignored there. Because, frankly, I thought this would have been solved last weekend when this went down. But here we are now. We're full, 8-9 days into this. And Marchand is the leader on sports media. This guy knows anything that's happening. He's reporting on it. Real quick here, YouTube TV is some of the most diehard NFL fans anywhere because of its deal with the league for Sunday Ticket. Alphabet pays the NFL $2 billion a year for Sunday Ticket. At a slight discount, YouTube TV subscribers can watch every out-of-market game. I did that. I know many people have done that. But right now, it says the two sides remain apart on how much YouTube TV should pay ESPN for its services, as well as the thresholds and inclusion of a most favored nation clause, which would allow YouTube to gain benefits and guarantees from its increasing subscriber base. YouTube's 10 million homes, built up in 8 years, are approaching the two largest providers, Spectrum and Comcast, whose numbers are each in the $12 million range or $12 million range. ESPN just recently reached carriage deals with Spectrum and Comcast. That's on top of the deal with DirecTV last year. This happens like every 5 years. We go through it, but I did not know YouTube was in that many homes. Frankly, I found out more. I knew Eric had it. I knew a couple other people at the station have it. My family actually has it back home. I know my mom and my sister do. That's more than I ever anticipated that they're in that many homes. Frankly, that's why there's that many upset people. But as it relates to us, and then we got to go to break now, so we'll have to wait on the Reese thing till later in the show. As it relates to us, if you want to watch the game tomorrow and you're on YouTube TV and ABC is not working for you, you have a couple options here. You can subscribe, WDAY Plus, do it now, and with it, you're going to get everything we get. If you want to watch the Bison basketball games coming up, we got about 10 of them over the next 3 weeks. You can watch Dakota Bowl through that. You can watch the state volleyball tournament. You get all of that for the next month. And then if you decide you want to move on, fine. But you know what? You can get the last 3 Bison football games, including tomorrow. You can do that. If you don't want to do that, the antenna out there is a pretty good option. The picture is perfect as well. Depending on where you put the antenna, you're all good to go. So those are your options of what's presented, because according to what the media writers are saying, it doesn't look like anything is imminent on that. All right, we're at bottom of the hour here. We'll break. When we come back, we'll chat some high school ball. Big game tonight in Kindred. Devils Lake is coming to town to take on the Vikings. Head coach of the Firebirds, Todd Lambrecht, is going to join us. We come back on a Friday morning edition of Hot Mike right after this. Welcome back, everybody, here on a busy Friday. Of course, tonight we've got high school football for you, both on WDAY2 and WDAY Plus. On the Plus, you've got Bismarck and Davies, exclusive there on WDAY2. We've got Kindred and Devils Lake tonight, with the winner moving on to the Dakota Bowl a week from now. Firebirds have had a great season in the state semifinals. Their head coach, Todd Lambrecht, joins us this morning as they get ready to hit the bus here in a couple hours for a rematch of a game that was played all the way back when it was sunny and about 85 degrees. Will not feel that way tonight. He joins us this morning. Let me start there. I know it feels like probably 8 months ago. Can you take anything from that game with Kindred to use for tonight or no?
I don't know. That was so long ago, and we just kind of look, past week to week, and we just go by, last week and just kind of keep building up on that and getting better and improving. So, it's all learning as we go and as we play. So that's I don't know. It feels like last year with that game.
Tell me, I think a lot of people saw your game last week with Central, and that was eye-opening of how well you played. Did it surprise you, or is that a performance you saw coming?
It was kind of a surprise. We just been kind of up and down on a roller coaster and how we've been playing on defense, and our offense was playing fairly well, but everything just kind of came together. The guys played well. We had 11 guys flying to the ball on defense, and we had the ball bounce away a couple times. But, overall, I was a little surprised. I was.
Now that you're here, you got another shot at Kindred. Tell me for the boys this week about, all right, here you go. This is what you wanted. You got another crack at these guys for a chance to come to Fargo. It's one of those things where you play your next game, and that's what we always preach, and that's what we look at. It's not another crack. It's just another team. It's another game that we have to just prepare for and play, and that's how we took the week. Tell me about moving to the West in 2A. How did that change? Because you used to playing the teams out here. How different has that been mentally this season?
It's a little different, but if you sit and look at it, when we're out east, we had 4 non-conference games, and they were West teams. So, I mean, besides a couple games short of it, it was different because of just the conference, non-conference who were used to playing, but. Overall, it was a small change, but not a big drastic one.
I was going to say, road trips are always long for you guys. Did it change at all this year, or no? Was it still pretty brutal?
It's still pretty brutal. You got Dickinson or Watford. Those are always that 4.5 hour trip. Bismarck's a couple hours. It's what we're kind of used to here in Devils Lake. It's one of those things to where when you go to Wahpeton, it's a 3 hour trip. And I don't know we end up traveling a lot, and it's something our guys kind of get used to and they understand.
Embracing the road warrior kind of mentality.
Yeah.
So I don't know who you made mad at the high school league. Your schedule makers there. You open with Kindred and Central Cass, both on the road. Tell me about just going mentality wise. Like, all right, here are the two new kids on the block, but everybody knew they were going to be really good this year.
Yeah, they've had stellar programs through the years, and we had a privilege of playing Central Cass last year, and so we kind of knew what we were getting into when they were on the schedule again, and it's great games, and Kindred, we just had to adjust and adapt, and we didn't do well right away. We didn't play very well that game. Central Cass, we started piecing a few things together and started playing a little bit better together, and that was a great game. It was a good quality road win for us, and that's what we really needed.
I know, Todd, that got my attention for what it's worth. You guys won in Castleton. What did that do for the guys to go and get a win like that on the road to set up what happened the rest of the way?
It was big, and we knew going into that we needed to have that. And our practice was extremely focused, and we fixed a lot of kinks from what we had in Kindred, and our guys' mentality had to change a lot more than what it was going in the beginning of the season, and it was very beneficial for our program, and our guys really picked up on that, and that one kind of catapulted us into that mentality of getting better and progressing each week, and just playing at a higher speed.
First postseason win since 2017. Tell me about how crazy things have been this week around town now that you're still alive. What has mentality been like after that?
It's a great upbeat for our community. It's been awesome. We have a really good following anyways, the way it is, and it just kind of perks up the community, and it's great for the boys. It really is, and they get notice and recognition in the community. And we have great support. I mean, our businesses and that, and our community and our school, they support our sports and our athletics, and the guys have really worked hard for it, and they deserve this recognition and just that honor.
I got a message into my email earlier this week after your guys' win over Central saying, hey, Mason Palmer is one of the best players nobody's talking about. So that's your guy. Tell us about him and what makes him so special.
Well, we've had Mason. We've had the privilege of having Mason for 3 years. He's that kid that's close to 6,000 yards passing, and his touchdowns, I don't even know what they are for his total yet. He's that captain on the field. He knows where everybody's got to be. He knows what people have to do. He's that leader on and off the field. He's one of those kids that you see every once in a while. And for me, coaching for as long as I have, his pocket presence and his understanding and his feel for the game is just, I can't explain it or describe it. He has this niche, this knack, and the guys really feed off it. And he tries to play at that high level all the time, and he expects the guys to raise up to that level.
How much does his performance bleed into other guys? Like seeing that, how much does that raise everybody else up? I guess is what I'm asking.
Oh, it raises them up a lot. Mm-hmm. He has those high expectations for himself, and he's one of those kids he's so coachable, and he expects to play high, and the other kids just they step up to that matter. They want to play well for each other. That we's greater than me thing, and they play well for each other, and they do things for each other. And when he's playing at that level, they want to raise themselves up to that level also.
All right, I want to ask you a couple big picture things to get you in trouble here, because 2A football I always feel is like the lost stepchild here, because they can't figure it out. Teams are moving in every other year. You've been around this for a bit. How do we get 2A where we got the right teams in this class? How do we do that?
I honestly don't know. That's up to the Activities Association, and I think they're working on it right now, trying to get it to where it's comparable, get the right teams in. And I don't know. I mean, we started it when 17, I think, is the first year. It's one of those things where you had 9 schools, and it
Yep.
was great competitiveness. And in all honesty, it's been very competitive throughout all these years that it's been, and it's good football, good quality football, and there's always competitive games going on, no matter what your record is. It's good programs playing against each other, so it's a great class, it's a great level, and who's ever's in it is in it, and I know it's going to be good quality football, and that's what we need and that's what we want.
I know, because Devils Lake, at least on the basketball side, I talked plenty, was in the EDC for a bit, now is back in the new division. It's been a yo-yo there. Do you feel like this is the perfect spot where you guys are at now in that second level is where Devils Lake belongs?
Yeah, I firmly believe that. Our population's kind of stayed the same, and our school numbers are about the same, or getting a little bit lower, I believe. And it's year in, year out, just trying to find those good quality kids and getting kids to come out and being competitive. And that's just it. I mean, if we look at the big picture, we really want our sports programs to be competitive with each other, no matter what level they're at. It shouldn't be going on where you go on the road and your starters are sitting the bench after a quarter or a half. It should be to where everybody's got to play the full game, and that's what makes it exciting.
All right, so let's talk about the matchup tonight here. Knowing full well you saw them already. Looks like the weather might be a deal. Is that something you can play into? Like, you need 30-mile-per-hour wind and something? Throw a curveball at these guys tonight?
No, we just got to adapt and adjust. We both have to play in it, and they're a great coach program. I mean, I know Coach well, and they're a good quality team, and they do things to a T, and they're very disciplined, and it's going to be a hard-fought battle. It's in the weather's the weather, and we both have to play it. So it's just one of those things where if we can use it to an advantage, we can, and we'll try. And if not, we just got to play through it, and hopefully the outcome is where it should be.
Watching Brooks Bacco out there, and we've talked plenty about him, Todd, about his obviously potential at the next level that Michigan and those kind of schools are talking about him. What makes him such a good player and hard to stop?
Well, his size, his speed, he's just an athlete, and he's got a knack for getting open, and it's when he gets the ball thrown to him, he catches it, and we just got to work on just trying to minimize as much yardage after the catch as we can. He's just an all-around athlete. I mean, plays offense, defense. He's good, and he's good. And when you have good athletes like that, you just do your best to try and contain them, and hopefully not to get that big break or that big run, that big score.
All right, I'm mandated as a sports television reporter to ask a football coach, is a quick start necessary? Do you need that tonight, or how do you avoid, I guess, the other part, the avalanche coming? Because they're going to be raring to go being at home tonight.
Yeah, it's meeting that beast head on and stepping up to that level of that intensity of, and we always hope for a quick start. Every team does. We always got to be prepared when it doesn't happen. And our guys need to adjust and adapt and go through those trials and tribulations and just learning and getting better and working on adapting. And if they can do that on the field, it'll help us immensely.
I know you're only worried about the 48 minutes tonight, but a win tonight, what would that mean for your team, for your community, to be able to win this game and get to the Dakota Bowl?
Oh, it'd be awesome. It's been some time since we've been there. I think 2010, is the last time. It'd be great for the community. It'd be great for these guys. I mean, they've been working hard. They play for each other. And I always tell them, we coach, and we're going to coach. We're going to coach them the best we can, put them in the best spots. But when they're playing, even when they're practicing, it's for each other, and we preach it, and they love it. And it's one of those things to where it'd be amazing for them because they've earned it, But again, they have to earn it tonight. So it'd be great.
Last thing before I let you go, and I really appreciate the time. Actually, two last things. For you, you've been doing this a bit. You get nervous tonight? Excited? Like, is there a normal routine you have before the game starts?
I don't know. I never thought about it. Do I get nervous? Yeah. Who doesn't get nervous?
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I wear my watch, and my wife bought it for me, which is awesome. My heart rate, I don't know if it goes below 100 at all the whole day. I don't know. I can check my average. I think last week it was like at 110 or 120. I don't know. It was up there.
And you won pretty easy in that game.
Yeah, but it's that intensity of, as coaches, I don't know. I get intense because I know what our guys are capable of, and I want them to play hard, and I'm excited for them. And I just get caught up in the game, and it's I don't know. Do I have any rituals? I have a few, but nothing that is where I rely on every week.
All right, I mentioned off the top, last thing here about the Road Warriors here. What's the best strategy? Is there a movie, or you got the headphones in? How does this work for you guys? Because you're on the bus an average of what, 2.5 hours everywhere?
Yeah, it's about 2.5 hours. So, they're kids. They're going to sleep. They're going to do whatever. We stop, go to the bathroom, give them a little sandwich. About 30, 40 minutes out, we make sure they're awake, and they got to start focusing on the game. And we make it a priority to make sure that they're ready and set when they come off. But then again, it's up to them how they prepare. Everybody prepares differently, and we're at that time of year where they know how they need to prepare to get ready for that game. So it's our job is to make sure they're up and awake, and then they have to get in that mental state.
Todd, this was awesome, bud. Thanks so much for doing this. Safe travels tonight. Good luck, and appreciate the time today. Okay.
Thanks, Dom.
Todd Lambrecht joining us, Devils Lake head football coach. Firebirds have got the Vikings tonight, 6 o'clock kickoff. That's live on WDAY2 and also streaming on Inform and WDAY Plus. Winner goes to the Dakota Bowl. He's exactly right. Firebirds have not been there since 2010. That was a walk-off field goal that Shanley beat with our guy Lockway was the head coach of the Deacons that year in 2010. That was up at the Alaris Center as well. So we'll see. Should be a great night of highlights. All that coming up tonight. First Down Friday on WDAY at 10 o'clock. We'll break. We come back, got a couple emails. We'll wrap up our first hour. We got the Feeneys coming up to start hour 2. Kevin and Jett about Moorhead's big win last night over Centennial. Back on a Football Friday edition of Hot Mike after this. All right, wrapping up our first hour. Thanks to Todd Lambrecht. That was great stuff. Apparently, it's Pick on Eric today, because I got a couple other emails in. And I got a tweet as well. Do you know what happened on this date in 2009? November 7th, 2009. That ring a bell at all? This is at you there, buddy boy. November 7th, 2009. It's a baseball-related deal.
Oh.
Between the Twins and the Brewers.
Yeah, I was too young. I was only 13 at the time.
That's not young. Come on. On this date, November 7th, 2009, a infamous trade. The Twins traded Carlos Gomez to Milwaukee for 2007 All-Star shortstop J.J. Hardy. The Twins, that was a big deal. I remember that trade. I reported on that one. The Twins were getting J.J. Hardy was good, and then they had him for 1 year and then shipped him out. Carlos Gomez, is he not a well-respected Brewer?
No, he is. Everybody loves him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought he was that trade ended up working out for Milwaukee.
That worked out pretty well. A couple fights later with Gomez and somebody in the Braves. I remember that one.
Carlos Gomez, former Met great, came up with the Mets. Also, Dom, can you please ask Eric or give him thanks that Wisconsin has extended Luke Fickell? As we talked about, it came out yesterday, Luke Fickell is not going anywhere. He will remain the Badgers head football coach in 2026.
So if he gets fired next year, which I think he will, because he
just
sucks.
what are you talking about?
No, listen.
Okay.
He gets fired next year.
Yep.
And somehow Polasek stays at North Dakota State. I will drive the fan bus of the Tim Polasek fan bus to Madison.
Oh.
And drop him off at McIntosh's front door and say, "Here's your next head coach."
Well, I know there were actually quite a few Bison fans that had come to me and were sweating that, wondering if that was a possibility. So we can cross Wisconsin off. But there are a few other jobs out there. I would just say, Bison fans, do not stick your head in the sand here. I know it's 2 years. Jimmy Rogers left after 2 years at South Dakota State. If the job is there, you got to go. And you can't begrudge the guy, especially the amount of money that's out there. Now, Wisconsin made a lot of sense for a ton of reasons. Namely, obviously, with Tim's background and relationship in the Big Ten, the people that he knows. I mean, it makes too much sense. But there are some, say, well, can you hire an FCS coach to go? I mean, the Don Morton angle is there. For older Badger fans, knowing they did that they hired a former Bison coach and then he did not work in Madison, I think for a certain age bracket, like, no way are we going to go down that road and hire another North Dakota State coach. So you can play. Regardless, that story is dead for now. I would tell you, though, what do we got, 12 FBS openings? And we're going to have at least 20 more. I thought 30 was the number. And there are some that he's not going to look at and his agent's not going to look at, but there are others that are going to come. Colorado State, to me, makes a lot of sense. And people are like, well, the Bison are better than Colorado State. At the moment, you can certainly make that argument. I would, but North Dakota State is not in the Pac-12. Colorado State is a Pac-12 school as of July 1, 2026. That changes everything. And, yeah, Polisic knows the Mountain West from his time at Wyoming, and the schools that are moving from the Mountain West to the Pac-12, he knows well, with Boise, Utah State, Fresno. He knows those schools. That, to me, you got to have your radar, your spidey sense going off there. That might be a possibility. We'll see. There's a lot of things that can happen, but now we're into the really silly season with firings. I mean, the fact Memphis just opened. Now, I know there's no connection there. Memphis is an unbelievable job. That's a really good one because the Memphis coach is going to take the Arkansas job. So just be aware, Bison. Enjoy the ride. Have a heck of a time at the game tomorrow, but just have that in the back of your mind that this is out there and there's going to be phone calls happening, especially I think now with North Dakota State's president leaving. We got to look at the fine print of his contract because there's part of that too. If the president's gone, there but drops the buyout. I have to look. I have it in my desk drawer. I got to look at that. But
how much does early signing day play effect into
Well, that's why the coaches wanted
coaches
that.
Now,
no doubt about it. No doubt.
Also, you mentioned the Arkansas job. I heard Pat Fitzgerald was in the running for that one.
Yeah, I mean now the settlement is done with Northwestern. It's now. Some AD and president obviously will take, and I say take a chance in quotation mark. Obviously, what went down in Northwestern was not good, and he was fired. I would imagine somebody will give him a job again. I don't know how high the level. Arkansas seems a bit high for him to get back in, but he'll get a job somewhere. I would be surprised if he doesn't. So.
Also, one thing with Polisic, of him saying you can go to the Big Ten, people are forgetting he was a coach in the Big Ten at Iowa already.
Yep.
Yeah, I know he wasn't a head coach, but he's got that experience now. So,
no doubt.
It's a day and age now is different than it was back in whenever Don Morton got hired, which is well before my time.
82, I want to say. Oh, it was later than
well
that. It was
well before my
that.
time.
It was mid-'80s when he got the job at Wisconsin. Again, he's got the ties, but that job's not open. We'll see what does open between now and the next couple weeks because there's more coming. We'll break. We come back. We'll start our second hour. We'll check in with the Feeney boys. Moorhead will play in the 6A semifinals next Friday night at US Bank Stadium. Head coach Kevin, his son, the starting quarterback, Jett Feeney, will join us when Hour 2 of Hot Mike begins after this.
This is Hot Mike. Hot Mike. On the networks of WDAY. Here's Dom Izzo.
Welcome back, everybody. Friday morning show halfway done. We got NFL picks with my pops coming up in about a half hour. Looking forward to that. I'm going to gloat over Sam that his Steelers beat the Colts last week, so that's coming up before we wrap things up here on a Friday. We started our show, of course, with the highlights of the game that happened last night down in the Twin Cities. The Moorhead Spuds are moving on to the Class 6A semifinals. They'll play at US Bank Stadium next Friday night after a 35-21 win over the Centennial Cougars. Our pleasure to be joined by head coach Kevin Feeney and his son, starting quarterback Jett Feeney, join us this morning. Jett, did you guys plan this? You guys look great. Are you wearing with the outfits? Is this planned?
Yeah, it wasn't planned. We have tons of different Moorhead sweatshirts. Somehow we both came to school at different times. We wore the same one. We're like, we did not plan it. No.
What time did you guys get back to the house last night?
3 in the morning. 3 in the morning.
Boy, that is another late night. All right, so I did the math on this. the combined road trip here for your 7 trips, 3,312 miles. That's a lot of time on the bus there, boys.
I think we're 8 out of the last 11 weeks that we've been in the cities in a month straight. So yeah, it's kind of become the norm. But I tell you what, our kids have been resilient all year. We don't really talk about it within our team. I think, Dom, we talk about it more on your show than I talk about it at all. But you know what? This group, this is just kind of the routine, and we eat at the same place. We have the same pregame, the same everything, and as you well know, football coaches don't like deviations from the schedule. And so we've got it kind of figured out down to the minute, no matter the miles.
All right, Jett, take me through the game last night. We talked with your dad yesterday, obviously, that they want to run the ball. They were going to try and keep it out of your hands. How important was a couple drives you guys had, especially the one right before the half, to score a touchdown? How big was that to take a lead in a halftime?
It was huge. The first possession of the defense, they got to stop. That was huge. If they get ahead early, they can just salt the clock away. Then they control the game. But since we got to stop on the first drive, we were able to control the game the whole time. And then we scored right before the half, which was a huge point in the game since we got the ball at halftime. And I think that's the reason we were so successful.
Kev, tell me about that stop from the did you tell the defense anything about that? I mean, to get that to start the game, man, the sideline had to be going crazy after that.
Well, I told you yesterday, I think on the show, that it was going to be a street fight mentality. And I really challenged the kids in the pregame locker room to have that mindset of you can't get bullied. You can't. I mean, Centennial is really, really good at what they do. And we had to come out and match that physicality. And, it didn't hurt that they got an illegal procedure on the first play of the game. So to go to 1st and 15, but to get a 3 and out, to get field position, they didn't have a great punt. And so we got a short field, and we were able to go right down the field and just kind of get that sigh of relief on, okay, hey, we belong on this, and we can play with this group. And our confidence is, like I said, is at an all-time high. And these kids maybe don't know what they shouldn't know, which is okay also. And I tell you what, our defense, though, all night long just played it outstanding. And then, like Jett said, the kickoff return to open up the third quarter just kind of was like a huge momentum shift from there on out.
All right, Jett, I'm assuming you got your moves from your dad, because I know your older brother can't move around like that. But tell me about your ability to get out of the pocket last night. How big was that to score 2 touchdowns?
It was huge. They were just dropping everybody so the middle was wide open outside, and I just took it. They were daring me to run the ball, so I did, and it worked out for us.
Have teams figured that out? I don't know if they figured that out about you can move, because I think you're going to drop back and throw it every time, especially that first one. I mean, it was wide open for you.
Yeah, I just most of the games, with my shoulder injury, I'm not trying to run too much. But now that I'm fully healed, I'll do anything. I'll put my body on the line for it.
That second one, that was quite the pop. That one hurt after that in the second touchdown.
Nah, that didn't hurt at all.
Because he got in the end zone, right?
Yep, I like that. There was a play earlier in the game where he took off running and picked up a huge first down and slid, and maybe a couple guys came in late, and I absolutely love it. We had some offensive linemen that came flying into the picture and made sure that they understand that was not going to be allowed the rest of the night.
So we're watching the highlights of the game when Centennial tied it at 14, and we mentioned that drive, Kev, that came down, and you get the touchdown to go up 21-14. That one to David. What was that for the sideline?
It was huge. You know what I mean? And you talk about the high-flying offense and stuff. We work on 2-minute multiple times throughout the week, and so it's kind of become the norm. But I tell you what, when you can kind of put that dagger in right before the half, and we've done it multiple times now throughout this playoff run, and it's huge. But I think on some of these drives, we've had 5 or 6 different receivers catch ball or make a big run. And so, I mean, it's a total team thing. And, David Mack is really, really good around the goal line. And like Jett said, a couple of those things, they try to take away your best options around the goal line, but they are going to give us the opportunity to maybe run the football with our quarterback. And like he said, we don't encourage him to do it all the time, but it's always built into the game plan. And we have the run pass option stuff when we're in our empty, that he has the ability to take off running when need be.
Jett, when you saw Tay pick up the ball to start the second half, did you get a sense right away he had a window for it? I'll ask your dad about it, but what did you see on that play when Tay took it back to start the second half?
Oh, I was just on the sideline getting ready, watching some film on the TV. Then I look up and Tay just running into the end zone.
It was really exciting. After that, I was like, that pretty much sealed the game right there.
Okay.
But you know what's super cool on that is Zach Walker and David Mack, who are obviously receivers for our football team, and Zach's a great corner for our football team. But we put our hands team out to open up the third quarter because they have a great kicker. And so we thought, okay, they're going to kick in the end zone or they're going to try and swing momentum back into their favor and do some sort of surprise onside. So we put our hands team on and they pooch it. And I say this because David Mack's normally not on kickoff return, but he's on there because he's on the hands team. Those two get a block for about 20 yards that sealed this whole thing and sprung tape for the touchdown. And like Jett said, it just kind of swung the momentum back to our favor. Like, hey, we're here for real now.
When the ball's bouncing, are you worried like, oh boy, here we go, or are you like you got full confidence that he can make something happen there?
Well, you'll laugh because some of the hands team, right? We put a lot of baseball players out on the field because those guys are middle infielders and Tay plays baseball and all that kind of stuff. And so, like, you don't ever want to because the ball will bounce, man. It's a weird shaped object, all right. So I mean, the bounces can go your way or don't go your way, but thankfully Tay was able to hit it on the dead run. And like I said, we had multiple guys get blocks, but you know, David Mack and Zach Walker, I literally think pancaked a kid and ran him for about 20 yards and right down their sideline. Wow. I don't know if it can get any better than that.
Jett, I want to go to the last drive. After they go for it on fourth down and they don't get it, you had a big play to J.J. Dunlap, but the one to me was the fourth down play where you drew him off sides. Take me through that, what that play call was like.
Yeah, we were just making sure we're telling everybody do not move at all. We do not have a play call. We won't have a play call. We're just going to call timeout. And I was just trying to draw him off sides. I was like, maybe we should run in the center and fake it too. So then I did that, and
that was his call too.
Oh, is that right? Holy cow! You're laughing. Why? Perfect. You're laughing. Tell me why.
Well, because I mean, number one, he's not very theatrical. Let's just start with that. I mean, we do a lot of freeze, and we're trying to see where the pressure is going to come from. But this one, it was super important, and we had a little bit of an argument on third down. Trey was at the game last night.
That's awesome.
And I was setting up and saying, hey, you know what? Let's maybe just play it safe and punt it away. And he looks at me and goes, you got some of the best players in the state, and you want to punt it away to this team right now? Let's finish this thing. And I said, all right, we'll do the freeze thing. We'll see it, and then we'll take the timeout, and then we're going to go for it if we don't get the freeze. But like I said, I didn't think Jett had that kind of theatrical moment, but he went under there and barked it out. And hey, we've showed him the John Gruden cadence thing, right?
Yeah,
I mean, on the Barstool deal, right? And I'm like, dude, for years I've been telling him, you got to have some inflection and you've got to be able to really enunciate things in the huddle. And so thankfully all that hounding on for years finally came to fruition.
Jett, when the nose jumped, I mean, tell me your reaction because you run up. We showed the play. I mean, what was your reaction? Oh, my God, this worked.
It was really exciting. You know, the whole team just started going crazy in the huddle. Yeah. And it was crazy, really exciting. David came up to me right afterwards. He gave me a big hug. It was really exciting for us.
I want to go to the last kneel out when you tossed the ball up and you ran for your dad. Can you tell me about, was that more son dad than it was quarterback coach at that moment?
Yeah, definitely. You know, we're in the film room all the time at home, and you know we have a really good connection where our minds are together on the field all the time. Our minds are together with the play calls, and my brother was there last time, so it's all three of us. I think that really helps our offense during the games.
You tell me about that moment. We talked a couple weeks ago after you beat Blaine. What was that like for you as dad then to be out there to hug him?
Yeah, I tell you what, it's super special. I know these days are limited. You don't want to take him for granted. He went through a tough injury, and you know, when you think you have 2 seasons left with it, and we didn't get that, we didn't know if he was coming back, and told my wife, the Lord works in mysterious ways. This wasn't our plan, but he had a much better plan, and it was pretty emotional for a lot of us last night in our family.
Now, if I said that was not even the highlight of the night, I don't know if anybody believed me, but afterwards, Kevin, take us there. So you got to eat. What happened after the game?
Well, okay, first of all, we've been doing a lot of Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A on a Thursday night won't cater after 9 p.m. Okay. So we go to the pizzas. Well, there's only the large pizza joints that will actually deliver. Set that up. I don't know if I should throw Papa John's under the bus, but we ordered from Papa John's a couple days before, and 40 pizzas, and it's 15, 20 minutes later than what we ordered them, and they're not there, and I call the guy, and it's a poor kid, man. He's like an 18, 19-year-old kid, and he goes, sir, I'm here by myself. Nobody told me that I had to make 40 pizzas until like 20 minutes ago.
Oh my
I
gosh.
said, hey, we'll drive over to you because I was like, I'm not going to sit and wait. And he goes, I can't deliver them. There's nobody else here. So then I take the team over, and John Pike walks in with me, and he goes, hey, where are we at? And he goes, I got 3 made. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going to get home at 5 in the morning now. And so John goes, hey, will you let kids work? He goes, I'll do anything. And we had about 15 kids that run into the pizzas. We got Big Neo flipping the dough. I was like, amazing. And we cranked out 40 pizzas in about 20, 25 minutes and hit the road and got back here right before 3 in the morning.
Wow. Jett, does that even make this story, this win, even sweeter with having that happen after the game last night?
It makes it way better, yep.
Adapt and overcome. That was the deal, man.
All right,
Adapt
well,
and overcome.
can your teammates make some pie? Was it any good?
I thought it was better than the normal pizza. And the funny thing is that when they were making the pizzas, they ran out of toppings.
They ran out of red sauce, and then we're just like, hey, let's throw some white and chicken, whatever. We don't care.
Oh my God! Well, that is a football adversity, no doubt. That's fantastic.
Amen to that.
Oh my gosh! All right, well, Jett, you're still playing, man, and you got another game. It's US Bank Stadium now. Has your mind gone there yet, or is it still too fresh of what happened last night?
Yeah, it's great. You know, the team's motto is always road to the bank, and now we're there. So now we gotta gain even more respect and just keep winning in there.
Do you feel like now finally you guys have earned that? You're the new kids on the block in 6A that nobody knew about you, and obviously you got hurt. That finally now that you have some respect that you've made it all the way there?
Yeah, definitely. I think we've gained a lot of respect since the start of the season. I think Maple Grove will be a big one for us, or Lakeville South. That'll be a big game for us to gain more respect. Obviously, they're one of the best teams in the state, so that'll be that's
great challenge.
Great challenge.
Kev, I immediately thought of the game last year, the Alexandria game, because everything was lined up. You were at home, had a chance to go to US Bank Stadium. You mentioned it works in mysterious ways. Do you think about that at all? Like, okay, we're doing this year, in our first year of 6A, we're in the semifinals?
Yeah. You know what, Dean said it to me after the game was over. He goes, who would have thunk it would have taken to go to 6A to get to US Bank Stadium? You know, in 2015, when we played in the state semifinals, it was under construction.
Yes.
So we played at Minnetonka. And so we've never been in that venue. And you know what? I mean, I was thinking about last night. Like I said, emotions were pretty high. But I had the good fortune to do the All-Star football game in 2019. Right. And I was the head coach for the North squad. And I had Jett with me for that week, and so I have videos of me and Jett throwing bombs on US Bank Stadium when he was just a little tyke and super special. I didn't know if we'd ever get that opportunity, especially like you said after last year, and with the jump up to 6A, who knows? But it's been a special ride, and super appreciative for this group of kids on helping us get there.
Jett, what's the first couple hours at school been like here, bud?
Oh, it's been tiring. I didn't go to first block. I just woke up and came right to here. So,
hey, quiet now, quiet. Don't get us in trouble.
I want to ask about for you, Jett, when moment for you and your teammates, you get introduced next week, going out there at the home of the Vikings. What do you think is going to go through your mind?
It's going to be great. You know, it's going to be it's win or go home. So the team's going to give it their all, and we just got to go out there and do what we do. Score like every possession like we have been, and that's the plan.
How different is it knowing, I guess, confidence-wise for you guys when you get the ball, like nobody stopped us yet? I mean, what kind of mentality is that when you go out there knowing, all right, nobody stopped us yet?
Yeah, we have a lot of confidence. You know, all year we've been doing it. We've been going up and down the field. So I think that'll give us we have great confidence going into this game.
Have a couple things to say before I let you go, and I really appreciate you guys doing this. The win over Edina, what did that do confidence-wise to have the game play out the way it did? Did that set this all up in your mind?
Well, I think it did. You know, like certainly you don't want to go into games thinking that you're going to have to score 50, 60 points to win games. But on the same token, I know when we started to really break down 6A football, when we were told that was going to happen, you know, I looked at the average scores, and the scores are – you know, low 20s and into the teens, pretty consistent. And I thought, you know what, for us to be successful, we're going to have to try and turn things into track meets. And, you know, I use the word uncomfortable. You got to make some teams uncomfortable. And not everybody's comfortable playing at the pace that maybe that we've been accustomed to, especially when we played teams like Alexandria, you know what I mean, that are just so much firepower
Yeah.
that, you know what? So I think that's probably the big message. And certainly, you know, like I said, the defense played amazing last night, and it would be great to say that we can go in and do that against Maple Grove or a Lakeville South team, but I don't know if that's realistic. And so we have the mentality that we've got to do things really, really well on offense and just try to keep teams uncomfortable. And I think if we can get that done, we gives ourselves opportunity. And the moment has never been too big for this group. And our plan is to just kind of do the same thing, and we'll get our kids down hopefully to US Bank Stadium on Thursday night to watch that first game, to just kind of let them see the environment, so that when we show up there to play on Friday night, that it's not about the environment, it's about the game, and we can focus in on our opponent and just doing what we do.
Jett, last thing. I've done all these interviews with your dad. We haven't talked about the guys up front. Tell me about your offensive line, how good they have been.
They've been amazing. You know, every Wednesday I would take them out to eat. We would always go somewhere. So then we have a really good connection with my O-line. And, you know, they're amazing. You know, they've been great all year. They've been dominant. We can pass the ball. We can run the ball. We can do whatever we want. So it's amazing. They're doing great.
And they can make pizza too, apparently?
Apparently they can, yeah.
It's funny how those guys know how to make food. And like our strength coach said it best. He goes, if you went to a taco shop, guess what? They'd figure out how to make great tacos too.
That's exactly right. In your heart of hearts, I can ask your dad this. You want Maple Grove to win this game tonight?
I say so, yeah. Get another chance at them.
I know you're gonna play it down the middle, but tell me, Kev, about this matchup tonight, and knowing you have maybe another shot after how the game played out here to maybe get another crack at them at US Bank next Friday night.
Yeah, you know what? They're super deep, super talented, tremendous offensive line, great speed at running back, a Division I quarterback. I mean, they've got all the tools in the shed, and I'm 100% sure their coach took over for Coach Lombardi, and ever since he's never lost the game. And so all that stuff is, but you know what? It's high school kids, and crazy things happen. And like I said, I love the belief system that our team has. And last night, whether you played 1 snap or 50 snaps, our kids came out there and competed, and that's what I know they'll do. And I've been messaging a handful of the college coaches that have been shooting us messages, and I'll tell you what, the message is the same. Just keep your nose to the ground and do what you do, and look up at the scoreboard when it's all said and done, and that's all we can do.
Boys, this was great. I really appreciate it. Congratulations on a great win. I think you knew how much Moorhead was cheering last night, and there's going to be a few people at the game next Friday night. I got a feeling that's going to be quite the scene at US Bank Stadium. Thanks for the time, boys. Congrats. Have a great weekend, okay?
Hey, this will make it a great weekend. Thanks, Tom.
There he goes. Kevin and Jett Feeney joining us from the Moorhead Spuds after their win last night over Centennial. They will play in the 6A semifinals. Again, Eric, if we could throw up the bracket here for what 6A has. They will play the winner of Maple Grove and Lakeville South. That game is later tonight, and the winner of that will play, obviously, Moorhead. That game will be next Friday night at 7:30. You see the other side, these are all teams the Spuds played. They're all in their section. St. Michael Albertville, Minnetonka, Edina, and Eden Prairie. The winners of that semifinal, as Kevin mentioned, is on Thursday night. So we'll be keeping our eyes on that to see who's in the Final Four in 6A football. That was fun. That pizza story is amazing. I believe our guy Kevin Walvin's going to be all over that for the news tonight at 6 o'clock. We'll break here. We'll get back on time. We're wrapping up. We only got 35 minutes left in the show. We got picks coming. What's been a fun football Friday? Back on Hot Mic right after this. What a wild story. John Pike just messaged me during the break as well, just to reiterate what happened here. After the game, we expected the pizza to get there at 10, and when 10:20 rolled around, we decided to call Papa John's to get an update. Come to find out, the employee is drowning and hasn't even made all the pizzas and hasn't put any in the oven. We decided to pull up to the location to see if we could help. Upon our arrival, I go into the store and ask the employee if he'd like any help. He immediately responds yes with a sense of desperation in his voice. So I go on the bus to recruit any and all players with pizza-making experience. Come to find out, we have a handful of guys who are up for the task, and you saw the video of it. So several of our guys go in the back of Papa John's and start serving up pies like nobody's business. After it was all concluded, we tipped the employee one crisp Benjamin Franklin and celebrated our way back home. What a fantastic story. That is awesome. That makes that all the more sweeter, and appreciate the Feeney boys giving us a few minutes there. I will tell you, there are 3 teams I fervently cheer for. Obviously, I cheer for the New York Mets. To my detriment, I certainly cheer for the Jets. The Moorhead Spuds is the other one. I know I cover them. I live in Moorhead. My wife has taught in Moorhead for 20-plus years, nearly 25. My son is a Spud. It's out the window. I'm sorry. Any objectivity on that, I'm sorry, is donezo. I was beyond excited when they won the hockey championship. Football is a different animal here, man. I'm really geeked about this. So I'll just full on tell you on it. I'll try my best, but I'm fully expecting it's going to be Maple Grove. And we talked about it on the show when we had the bracket reveal, that there was a pathway for them to play Maple Grove in the semis. It has almost come to fruition. Email comes in. Dom, I'm excited to head down to Morris to watch the game tonight between Barnum and Breck. I grew up and attended high school in Barnum and went to college at NDSU. Small world there. Go Bombers. I have a soft spot in my heart for Breckenridge. My in-laws are from there. My wife grew up in Breck, so I'd love to see the Cowboys win and make it to U.S. Bank Stadium. We got to think of all the Heart of Lakes teams in our area have a chance here. We got Breckenridge got a chance to go. Barnesville's got a chance to go. DGF's got a chance to make it there. I can't remember, gosh, in my time here, and there's maybe 1 or 2 that many teams. Moorhead's already there. Hillcrest's already there. Fertile's there. Kitson County Central's there. I cannot remember that many teams in our area having a chance to play in the semifinals, whether it was at the Dome, at Huntington Bank Stadium, whatever they call it, TCF, or U.S. Bank. I can't remember that many. We'll see how the results go tonight, which is going to be a crisp night for football around the state. Good stuff there. All right, we'll break. We come back. It's that time of the week. Time to pick some winners. My dad is coming up as we got Week 10 of the NFL slate. We'll see if he picks the Vikes over the Ravens. The Jets play this week. Can they make it 2 in a row? That's coming up. We come back.
If you'd have went with a Boston, you'd have been living in the garage. I had a Yankee hat on, of course, which I usually almost always do, but she says to me, if I were you, I'd take that hat off. And I looked at what look at it to begin with. I ain't taking my hat off. I know where I am. Yeah, right.
You believe anything that guy says? Because I don't.
He said he was going to marry J-Lo, too, remember? I finally told your mom. I said, there's no sense. Let's just put TVs in the room because I'm only going to wake them up anyway. So
that's how I got a television?
Alrighty, we've reached that point of the road here. Final half hour of the show on a Friday. We bring in my pops, who apparently is ready to tame the mighty whitetail today. It's opening day here in about 90 minutes. People are more than excited for deer season.
Yeah, I know exactly how they feel. Ours is next Saturday.
Okay.
So.
Are you heading out today?
Yeah, today I go out with a crossbow.
Okay. So. Are you going to do it or what?
I hope so.
All right.
Well, it's supposed to rain. I ain't going to go in the rain. I'm a fair weather hunterman now.
You've earned that. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
All right. We got a bunch of things to get to here. First off, you watched the end. We haven't talked World Series with you. Can you give us your thoughts on how Game 7, is that the best Game 7 ever?
It was great. I really thought it was a good game, but I'd rather see the Blue Jays win.
Boy, that is a gut punch.
They had so many chances. Nobody to blame but themselves, man.
Well, you're up in the 9th inning. You give up a home run to tie the game in the top of the 9th of Game 7 with 2 outs away. The crazy play to me that gets overlooked is the play at the plate where the guy slid instead of running through, and I think he would have been safe if he ran all the way through instead of sliding.
Well, he better safe if he went head first, too.
Well, he could have done that. Yeah.
I mean, they kept saying, well, he didn't have a big enough lead, but it was, the guy bobbled the ball, too, so he had a chance.
I know.
Wow.
It was literally millimeters away from the Blue Jays winning. I can't imagine because they reviewed it, had they overturned that would have been the ugliest thing ever.
Yeah, that wouldn't have. But if it was right, it was right.
Correct. You got to get it right. No,
they got it right. So
man, oh man,
as long as they get it right when they do that stuff, you can't. I don't know. It's just crazy.
How did you feel about the NASCAR championship? Were you pleased with that or no?
Of course, the Chevy one. I trust I was. I did feel bad for Denny. I mean, he really deserved it. He had the best car all day long, man. Just dominant all day long.
Yeah.
But that in this format, that means nothing.
Right. He said afterwards, I'm going to need some time on this one. Does that mean he's not coming back, or what's
No,
the deal?
He'll be back.
Okay.
He'll be back. It just hurts. You
Yeah.
know, he's been trying for 20 years. He's been the best driver for a long time.
That's tough.
It's just, that's the way it is.
So now
that happens. It just happens. That's all.
So now the countdown is officially on for Daytona 2026.
Yep.
And with
Can't wait,
with
man.
you in the stands, correct? Is that the plan?
That's the plan.
Holy
Me and
cow.
6 other guys. We all 7.
Well,
of us
hey,
go.
we went down this road before. If you're going to do the show, everybody's got to wear their shirt, all right? Next time you do that.
I ain't guaranteeing that. So.
Well, here, quick backstory on this for people that are new to our show. First off, welcome for joining us. Second, you went there not even knowing you had cancer in your back. You were in agony that whole trip.
Yeah. I was living on pain pills or, just taking Advil left and right because they just told me I had an old man's disease. My back was.
Yeah.
But I never found out till the following March. When
Correct.
I got
It
home
was a month and a half later when you got back. Yeah.
Right.
My
They
goodness.
finally done an MRI, and that's when they found it.
Well,
all.
that'll
But
be quite the triumphant return there back to Daytona. That'll be fantastic.
Can't wait.
So
We got almost the exact same seats too, and so it's going to work out great.
So I know not this year, but the following year they moved it a week later because the Super Bowl is going to be, I think, President's Day weekend, which is the hope eventually when they go to 18 games that Daytona will then be even later because obviously the NFL season is going to run to the end of February now.
They keep pushing us. We'll be in March before the NFL's done with us. But
well, first
that same year is the year I was on the plane when the Super Bowl was going on. Yeah. The pilot was announcing the score, and I said, "Whoa, what the heck?" It's just crazy. Bad timing.
And then the following year, you couldn't make it to the end because you were too tired. So
yeah,
there you go.
Out like a light by the third quarter.
All right. How did we do last week? We know, or do I have to ask Eric how we do?
10-3 straight up.
Ooh, all right. There's a good bounce back week.
7-6 with the fresh.
All right. So, all right. Should we do this here?
I'm ready.
All right. We got 4 teams on bye. Cincinnati, Dallas, the Titans, and the Chiefs are off this week. Can we start with the red-hot New York Jets, who are off a win and a bye? They're undefeated in their last 2 weeks. They got the Browns at home, and they traded everybody.
I know.
The Jets are Cleveland is minus 2.5. Yeah, the Browns are favored on the road. What are you doing?
Just to make your day, I'll take the
I honestly, they could lose the rest of their games. They got one. I don't know if they're going to win another one. So,
I guess there's no hope there.
There's not. The game in Germany, in Berlin, 8:30 on Sunday morning. That's a good one. The Falcons at the Colts. Indianapolis is a 6.5-point favorite in Germany for this one.
Yeah, they should bounce back here after the Steelers whopped them.
They did.
Where's Sam when I need it? Come on, Sam.
Indy minus 6.5. He wanted to. Do you want a Sam shirt? Did you see the Bunyan shirt that he got delivered?
No,
I'll give it to him. I'll show it to you. The Giants are at the Bears. Chicago has turned it around here. The Bears are 5-3. They're a 4.5-point favorite at home against the G-Men.
Yeah, give me the Bears.
Got Chicago minus 4.5 there. The Bills, did they get healthy last week in beating Kansas City? They go to Miami. Buffalo's an 8.5-point favorite on the road. That is a lot of points there.
Yeah, and I'm going to take the points.
Okay, he's got Miami plus 8.5. You don't believe in the Bills?
No, I don't think they'll win them by that much.
Okay,
Not Miami.
all right.
Miami always seems to play good there.
Yeah. Big one in the Twin Cities. The Vikings, off their big win over Detroit, have the Ravens, who lit up Miami last Thursday. Baltimore got Lamar back. The Ravens are a 4.5-point favorite on the road against the Vikes.
Yeah, they're going to light up the Vikes, too. Give me the Ravens.
You say that begrudgingly. I know how you feel about the Ravens, so he's got Baltimore minus 4.5.
I really don't like
I know you
them,
don't. Who thought this would be a good game back in March? The Patriots at the Buccaneers. New England is 7-2. Tampa's 6-2. The Buccaneers are a 2.5-point favorite at home.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
I'll go with the Bucks.
Eric, is that where Nance and Romo are? That's a CBS game. That might be the best game of the weekend.
Yeah.
He's got Tampa -2.5.
Yeah, there's a lot of clunkers this week.
Here's one: Saints at the Panthers. Although Carolina's 5-4 after they beat the Packers last week, Carolina's a 5.5 point favorite at home.
I don't know. Give me the Saints.
Ooh, Saints plus the points. All right.
That's gonna be a good one.
Is it?
A clunker game.
Jaguars are at the Texans. Jacksonville 5-3, sitting in second in their division. They are a 1.5 point favorite on the road against the 3-5 Texans.
Who's going to be their quarterback?
For who?
Texans.
I don't even know who the backup quarterback is in Houston. It's not C.J. Stroud, I don't think is playing.
Give me the Jags.
All right, Jacksonville -1.5. I'm not a great Houston Texans mind. I apologize on that.
Yeah, I wasn't sure who the backup was.
Let's get to the late games. Cardinals at the Seahawks. Kyler Murray was put on injured reserve, so it's Jacoby Brissett will be the guy for Arizona. Seahawks are tough at home. They're a 6.5 point favorite.
Sounds like they're washing their hands with Murray.
They might be done with Kyler Murray. They might be.
Yeah, it seems like they are.
Well,
Give me the Seahawks.
Sam Darnold has been A-OK for Seattle. Might be an
Be all right
MVP.
they'll be all right till the playoffs. Then it goes.
The Rams and the 49ers. What a game this is. Each team, the Rams are 6-2. The 49ers are 6-3, and they've been beat up the whole year. The Rams are a 4.5 point favorite on the road in San Francisco.
Yeah, I'm going with the Niners.
Okay, you got the Niners plus the points in that one. Winner will have first place in the NFC West, depending on what happens with the Cardinals game. Lions and the Commanders, they thought this game was going to be pretty good, and then Jaden Daniels had one of the ugliest injuries you can imagine. I don't know what he was doing in the game. The game was over, and I don't know why he was playing.
But if you ask him, he wouldn't have wanted to be out.
I know, and that's the same thing with Carson Wentz. I get it, but the game was
know.
lost at that point. You got to protect your star.
Everybody's beating on the coach, but
And they should. They got to take him out of the game. Detroit's a 7.5 point favorite on the road against the Commanders.
Give me the Lions.
You've got Detroit there. Sunday night football. The Steelers are on Sunday night again? Seriously? Are you on TV every week? What are we doing?
That's the Far factor, or the Rodgers factor.
He did it again. He did it again.
And that's just never. I don't know.
The Chargers are a 2.5 point. I know you're picking, but the Chargers are a 2.5 point favorite at home against your Steelers. There'll be 10,000 Steeler fans there, if not more.
At least.
The Chargers don't draw at
that
home.
always happens with that team, though.
Correct. The Chargers don't draw at
crazy.
home, so and now you're getting
crazy.
points. My word. Monday night should be a heck of a game. I hope ABC clears it up because nobody can see it if you have YouTube. The Eagles and the Packers.
I can't believe it's gone this long.
Well, the DirecTV one last year, you remember, we were without it for what, a couple weeks during football season before finally they made a deal.
Yeah.
Just a matter of who wants to flinch.
Now you can't even stream that, right?
That's correct. As far as I understand it, you can't because your provider is linked to who you stream it through. So if you have YouTube TV, you can't stream it through ESPN Plus. That's correct.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Green Bay is a slight favorite at home, basically a pick'em, 1.5 point favorite at home against Philly.
Yeah, I'm picking the Packers.
Okay, he's taking Green Bay to
Just
win
because
there.
I don't like the Eagles.
All right, he's taking a couple underdogs here. San Fran getting points. The Saints, I don't know what you're doing there. Miami getting 8.5 as well.
It's the toilet bowl.
And he took the Jets. The Jets getting points as well.
Yeah. I think I sacrificed a couple picks this week. But.
All right, before we go, the biggie tomorrow in Grand Forks, North Dakota State is a 10.5 point favorite. The line has come down. It was 14.5. The money has come in on UND. They're a 10.5 point favorite tomorrow.
They obviously think it's going to be a close game.
Correct.
I'll go with the Bison.
He's got the Bison. All right. Under-over is 54.5. That's a lot of points.
It is.
Although the Bison have scored 30 in every game this season. So
yeah, well, they'll score, but I ain't sure about North Dakota. But I don't know. I'd go the under there.
Okay, take the under on that. All right.
Yeah.
What did I say? I can't remember what I said for the newspaper. I think I said 27-21, so that'd be under.
Yeah.
But again, NDSU's hit 30 on everybody this year. So
yeah, they have.
Bison fans are quick to remind me.
That was a good game, Wes.
It was a great game, and then people left, and people are leaving. I don't get it.
I know.
They complain when the games are blowouts, and they leave when the game, and they complain when the games are close.
Yeah, that was definitely worth watching, that one.
It's the most asinine thing ever. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there. I'll talk to you tomorrow, okay?
I will, man. I love you.
I love you too. There he goes, my Pops with his NFL picks for Week 10. We're already at Week 10 of the NFL season. We wait for it, and here we go. We're halfway done. We'll take our final break. We come back. We've got our new Eliminator pool. We'll update you on that and get you ready for a dynamite sports weekend. Hot Mike will wrap on WDAY Extra right after this. Alrighty, our Eliminator Challenge is back after a 6-year-old ripped the hearts out of our staff. I figured, you know what, we got to do this again. So, and we put a big, better prize up. This time it's my own PTO I am donating to the winner. 16 hours, that's 2 days. My own PTO is going to whoever wins this. So Matt, Brody, Eric, Sam, Justin, John, Maddie, and Kyle are back in. We got a variety of picks here. Strecker and Brody are on the Seahawks. We got some Bills picks as well. Justin's in on the Hawks as well. Stunner that Sam picked the Colts. That's out of left field. Matt's on the Bucks. I see nobody took the Jets this weekend. That's a lock. Is it not? We're going to win. We traded everybody against the Browns. So that's the Eliminator picks for this weekend as we get ready for Week 10 of the NFL season. We normally do this like a minute and a half out from the end of the show. Let me get a couple emails here before we get to what to watch, because we got about 8 different things going on. I wanted to read this email, and I appreciate this is from a viewer who watches regularly, and I appreciate this. Dom, always enjoy your enthusiasm for the local teams, especially this time of the year. The Spuds are on a roll, and then the local 9-man player teams is fantastic. 3 from the area. That's great. Also, covering both sides of the border is very nice for all teams involved. Get some rest. It's going to be a haul in the coming weeks, going hunting later. Appreciate that. Thanks for watching. And you know what? When we started doing this show, it's about trying to highlight as many of the locals as we can. Obviously, we're going to talk plenty on the college stuff, but we get to this time of year, this is when the rubber hits the road in terms of high school stuff, and it's exciting, especially to see it in the big school level. We haven't experienced this with Moorhead doing what they're doing, and I think there's a lot more people that are going to be following them for that game next week. Likely it's Maple Grove. We'll know come about 9:30 tonight who the Spuds will play in the 6A semifinals. With that, let's do what to watch to get you ready for the weekend. What to Watch is brought to us by Northwestern Mutual. Okay, let's start tonight. We got high school football for you tonight on WDAY 2. You've got Devils Lake and Kindred. Note the start time, 6 o'clock tonight for that one in Kindred. The winner goes to the Dakota Bowl on WDAY Plus, exclusive there. Streaming only for Bismarck and Davies. Coverage of that game begins at 7 o'clock. Again, the winner of that will face the winner of Century and Legacy in the Dakota Bowl. Also here on Extra tonight, we got women's hoops. The Bison women home opener against Gonzaga. Yeah, that's right. Gonzaga is coming to town. Bison off their nice win over Northern Iowa. Well, myself and Amy Rulli have the call of that tonight, 7 o'clock from the Shack. Also going on tonight on a busy Sports Friday, the Wolves are in action. They take on the Jazz at the start of the NBA Cup. I don't even know what the Wolves floor looks like, but that's tonight on FanDuel. You've got college football tonight as well. Northwestern and USC. Those traditional Big Ten rivals, Northwestern and USC, that's on Fox tonight. And yeah, you've got Ivy League football. I'm telling you now, folks, for you fans of the FCS, find some time to watch Harvard. They're good, and they're in the playoffs. 6 o'clock against Columbia. That's one of the oldest football fields we have in the country. 6 o'clock on ESPN2. That's coming up tonight. Don't forget, of course, tomorrow Bison Game Day gets a start at 10 a.m. from inside the Alara Center. Of course, the game comes up at 1 o'clock on WDAY, North Dakota State and North Dakota. The Bison win. They win the Missouri Valley Football Conference Championship and the automatic bid to the FCS playoffs. The other games tomorrow, don't forget the Jackson Coyotes is on ESPNU tomorrow at 3. Suddenly that game is huge for each of those teams. We keep an eye on that one tomorrow. Keep an eye on that SIU Youngstown game as well. That is not small potatoes. The loser of that likely out of the FCS playoffs. Also this weekend, mentioned the Vikes play at noon on Fox. Oregon, Iowa, sneaky good game. 2:30 on CBS, and the Kings and the Wolves coming up Sunday night at 8 o'clock. We got to roll. Thanks to our guests today, to Todd Lambrecht, of course, to my dad, to Jett and Kevin Feeney. If you missed any of the show, you can podcast it later today at Inforum.com. Watch it on WDAY+. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'll see you in Grand Forks. We'll see you back here on Monday.